Hello, welcome to the Undead Celluloid Society's podcast. My name is Michael.
And I'm Rachel.
And today, for the first time ever, we have a guest. This is Jimmy.
Hello.
Jimmy is a real close friend of mine that I make watch really bad, scary movies sometimes.
Yes, he does.
Before me.
Mostly in theaters. So today, we decided to invite Jimmy on the beginning of our creature feature extravaganza. We are covering the 1999 film Lake Placid.
Not warning, but disclaimer, not a low budget, but
The rest of them are.
sets up for the low budget ones, so
It sets up for
don't come for us.
Yeah, just wait until you're watching Lake Placid versus Anaconda in 2 months, and you'll see why.
Yeah.
Lake Placid is a creature feature film from 1999. It's more comedy than most of the things that we've covered. I mean, most of the stuff we watch is pretty laughable.
Yeah.
But it is about a crocodile that has found its way to Maine and is eating people, and Betty White is feeding it.
A crocodile from Asia.
Asia, yeah, he swam a long way to get there.
Swam, crawled.
Betty White's really feeding that thing.
Cows, her husband.
Cows. Her husband. Well, accidentally her husband.
Yeah, but she didn't tell anybody, so.
Yeah, so that's the gist of Lake Placid. I would like to ask our guest what he thought of the film.
Well, it's the second time that I've seen the film, and I remember watching it originally. I liked it, and it's a good movie, and it is. Betty White is quite comical, that's for sure, and it is something that I enjoyed.
Do you think Betty White's the best part of this film?
Well, it's hard to say. It's hard to say that she's not, because Betty White was awesome.
Iconic.
Yes,
Iconic.
Betty White, and I almost want to say the best actor, but for me, I think Brendan Gleeson did a really good job too. The sheriff.
Right. Brendan Gleeson, but I thought Oliver Platt. I really liked Oliver Platt.
Yeah, it's pretty wacky.
Yeah,
Is that the rich guy?
That is the rich guy. He is
Yeah, with the helicopter.
with the
Why
helicopter.
I need to have my phone on me?
The crocodile helicopter. So this film has way more familiar stars in it than most of the things that we watch. Starring Bill Pullman, Bridget Fonda, Brendan Gleeson, as we mentioned, of course, Betty White, and Oliver Platt. Those are the main characters. Other than that, I don't know anyone else's name in this movie.
Had that woman from SVU in it.
It did have gosh, what is her name? What's her name in the show?
Main female character from.
Olivia? Was that her name in the show?
Yes. Oh, it is on the tip of my tongue.
It'll come to us when this show's
Yeah.
over.
Main character, Law and Order, SVU.
Yes, if you think of
Main
that,
female character.
yes, she is in it for a brief second. She is sleeping with the main character, Bridget Fonda's boyfriend.
Yes, which is also
Boyfriend.
her
Yeah,
boss.
her boss. Yeah, very ethical.
Very 90s.
Yeah, it is very nice. That's for sure.
Yeah, so Bridget Fonda. Bridget Fonda works at the museum in New York. She's a paleontologist, and she is sent to Maine because there is an attack on a man.
And they find a tooth.
They find a tooth, and the logical choice is to go to a museum. So,
Well, it was like they said it looked like it was thousands of years old. So they're like, of course, we have to go to a paleontologist. And apparently they needed to get her out of the office because there was work drama.
well, yeah, she was. Yeah, her best friend was sleeping
She
with the
was
boss.
the scapegoat.
Yeah, so they
Go to
speak her
Maine,
out.
look at this tooth.
She, so the person that they find, they keep asking if they found him the way they find him,
Is
because
this how he came up?
is this how he came up into the boat? There's half of this guy, like he got bit in half. His bottom half's not there; it's like just like knob remains. And they look at him and they go, "Is that how he came up in the boat?" It's like, yeah, it didn't come up bottom first. I mean, I don't know, a little silly. Also, this movie, the lake is not actually called Lake Placid.
It's not. They wanted to call it Lake Placid because it's very still.
It's black too.
And it's black, but that name was already taken by the lake that you had mentioned that's in New York.
Tells me.
Yeah, that was Lake Placid.
Yeah, Lake. It is actually there's actually a Lake Placid.
Exactly. Yeah, so it's already taken. So
Pretty good. Pretty good creature effects too. Stan Winston designed the crocodile. The crocodile is 32 feet in length. That is an animatronic that they made, and I'm assuming that when they're hauling it away at the end of the movie, they're hauling it to the warehouse that they're putting it in.
Right, where they're gonna
Like store it and then never use.
tank.
yeah, also,
They got a tank.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a giant. It is a giant crocodile, and it is practical for the most part. There's one instance where it is CG, but it's mostly probably where a lot of this budget went, I would say.
yeah.
Because it looked really good.
It did look really good.
Which really surprised me. I didn't remember, but usually the animals don't always look realistic.
Oh,
Yeah.
and as we'll see in the future installments of Lake Placid, it doesn't always look good. But that's also its kids. So
Which Betty White is feeding at the end.
Betty White's feeding crocodiles throughout this whole thing.
Like they're her little babies.
Yeah.
They are her little babies.
Yeah, she's like, oh, nibble on mommy's toes.
Her husband also got eaten by the crocodile, and she just tells the sheriff that she murdered him,
Yeah.
so that they won't capture the crocodile. She's risking jail time for the rest of however long she would live, and so that they don't kill the crocodile. Like they're not going to know that there's a giant crocodile in the lake.
And she doesn't even blame the crocodile for her husband's death.
No.
She says it was his fault for not being careful.
Yes.
Or
Yeah.
something of that nature.
Yeah, because he intercedes, trying to stop a horse from getting eaten.
Right.
I didn't see any horses on that farm, by the way, so it must have ate the other horses.
Husband and horses. Yeah.
Yeah, Betty White didn't see any problems with the 30-foot long crocodile in the lake in Maine that she was feeding, even after her husband got eaten.
Feeding her cows.
She was feeding the crocodile whole cows, and yeah. So Bridget Fonda is going to Maine to investigate this. There's a fish and wildlife guy that's Bill Pullman, and then Brandon Gleeson is the sheriff.
Mad Eye Moody.
Bad Eye Moody. He is a prolific actor. He's in a lot of things. But he is the sheriff in this town, and also the butt of everyone's jokes.
Yeah.
Everyone calls him fat, too.
Yeah, so how about the rich mythology professor who's Oliver Platt.
Hefty guy himself.
He's a bigger guy, and he's like, listen, you typically, when family and friends tell you these things, you don't hear it. So as an outsider, I feel I must tell you, you're fat. And I'm like, you're just as big, bud. Why are you calling him out like that?
Rachel actually was looking. They were side by side at one point in the tent. And she's like, they're the same size.
I don't know if this guy is just trying to be helpful, or if he's just so outside of himself that he doesn't realize that he's in the same boat.
Mm-hmm. Also, if it wasn't Oliver Platt, I would think that his role was miscast because they play him off like he's this attractive rich guy.
Right.
He's hitting on girls and stuff, and they're cool with it. That one deputy who's not a bad looking girl says that she'll sleep with him.
He's got the what do they call it, kids? The Riz.
He does, yeah.
He's got the Riz.
With lines such as "You have such big, wonderful boobs."
And he's rich.
And he's
rich.
He's got a helicopter, so he's doing something right.
Yeah.
Mythology professors speak that much?
I don't know. I don't know how much college
I
professors
think he
make.
said his parents were rich.
Oh, he did say his parents were rich. You're
He
right.
said his parents were rich.
Probably explains everything.
So he's a mythology professor. He tags along for the journey. You're probably wondering why mythology professor is here. It's because this dude, in his spare time, likes to swim with alligators.
It's his thing. Because
Look him in the eye.
he idolizes them as gods.
Yes.
Because most ancient civilizations I idolize them as gods. And apparently, according
Apparently so, yes. It should be.
Okay.
Keep talking.
Anyway, so Michael usually takes the lead on this. I don't know. I thought as far as creature feature, honestly, though, as far as the creature feature goes, They didn't show the crocodile. I mean, they did, but they didn't show the crocodile that much.
It has a very Jaws.
Yeah, it doesn't have like
Right. The anticipation
huge part.
Right.
Like it's mostly about the people.
Yeah. And a lot of people don't die in this movie.
The one diver guy and the sheriff who gets his
Head bit off.
Head bit off.
I guess if you count. And then there was just some random head they found in the woods.
Yeah.
No, that was the diver guy.
Was it?
Yeah.
No, the diver guy's body was at the board with his head.
You're right, but it did look like him.
Yeah, because she was complaining that the head hit her.
Yes.
Yeah.
She kept
She
getting
got
hit
hit
with
by
heads.
2 heads.
Okay, so maybe it was the dead husband.
Maybe. It's hard to tell.
Maybe.
But yeah, she did get hit by 2 heads. She got hit by a deer head or a moose head.
Moose.
And it got chucked onto her, and then she slapped Brendan Gleeson in the face like 10 times.
Okay,
It was a lot.
twice.
Yeah.
It was a lot, but
Twice. Well,
But a little bit of an overreaction.
absolutely. I was like, they never hurt her back.
She's pretty insufferable at the beginning of this movie.
yeah, not somebody you really like. But you got to figure her boyfriend just cheated on her with her best friend, and then they decided to send her off somewhere.
That's true.
Maybe.
So she did have some
the woods.
reason to be a little upset.
Yeah, she
Yeah,
did.
I agree with that.
Yeah.
That's true. But she does. I mean, she's like calling everyone hicks and stuff.
Right.
Making
She
fun
has
of them
the
for
most character development.
Like she'd never been out of the city before.
no. Yeah, she lives in New York City, so I mean, she's a city. It's a very city girl versus like a rural like kind of thing dynamic at first,
Right.
especially when Oliver Platt comes as well because he says something about Brendan Gleeson sleeping with his sister.
Right.
So there is that kind of dynamic. I think you see that a lot in like, especially in '90s like horror films that are in the wilderness. Not even just '90s, but like horror films set in the wilderness. You see a lot of people that are city folk going into the woods, very out of their element.
Yeah, and she didn't like ticks.
She didn't like
Or
ticks
mosquitoes.
or mosquitoes, but she did make a good point. Who does?
Right.
Who likes mosquitoes?
Yeah, but she's like, I have a thing about mosquitoes. I have a thing about ticks.
And she thought going camping that she was going to stay at a Ramada Inn.
Yes. Non-exists anymore. Though.
Very 90s.
Very '90s.
Yeah.
Yeah, she thought camping was staying in a hotel. But Oliver Platt had a pretty rockin' tent.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah,
he
he partying right on.
He had a walk-in tent that had like a TV and stuff in it, and it was just I don't know where they're getting the power for all this stuff, but
That's a good question.
they are in the middle of nowhere. The only house out there is Betty White's house that they promptly interview and is covering for the crocodile.
Yeah.
Because she said nobody else lived on the lake.
Yeah, she did say no one else.
Yeah, so what's the crocodile doing harm? But people are starting. Honestly, though, no. Besides her husband, nobody was dying until the scuba diver,
Yeah,
or that they mentioned.
I'm a little confused.
Except for the random head in the wood.
The random heads in the woods.
Where
Yeah.
did he
Her
come from?
husband, right?
Yeah, I don't know. It wasn't really clear.
It wasn't very clear. So the husband died years before.
Right, but like
And there was a toe. They found a toe as well. They found a toe.
That was supposed to be from the guy
The diver guy.
that they got bottom half ripped off.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because Oliver Platt picks it up and goes, "Is this your friend?" And Brandon Gleeson's like,
That was pretty funny. Actually.
"Yeah." Puts it like right in his face.
Yeah.
Is this your friend?
And he did say it looked like it had been messed up by acid, so like regurgitated
Yes.
basically.
Yeah, it had been swallowed.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that there's for as much star powers in this movie, I think they were scared to kill people off. When it came to like,
Yeah, they didn't kill off any main character.
no, they're random people. That
Almost. But they didn't.
Yeah.
Oliver Platt should have done a couple of times.
It was bad because the poor cop that was on the boat, you kind of know that he was going to get it.
Yeah,
He was going to get it. You got to just know that he was just there to die.
when he was pulling up that speaker or whatever it was, and just got his head bit off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Drive-by head bite off.
Right.
And they said they still didn't see the crocodile.
Who went like that.
Yeah.
It just all of a sudden bites the guy's head off and nobody sees it.
No one sees it. If you're wondering how a crocodile got to Maine from East Asia, because it is an East Asian crocodile, we don't know. Betty White said it showed up one day. It followed her husband home while he was fishing, and then they just fed it. That's all we got. It's 150 years old.
It was like their pet that was wild or something.
And then what you say? It's his lake now.
Yeah, it's his lake now.
Yeah.
Yeah. She was not concerned about her husband dying.
Betty White is like the villain of this movie.
She's the
In a way.
anti-hero.
Yeah, she's the funniest villain I ever seen. I can tell you that. She's hysterical.
She's rooting for the cops to get eaten.
Yeah, she was
No,
on the side of the crocodile.
Yes, she
She's
was.
not wanting the crocodile to get murdered.
So much so that she doesn't tell them about the second one.
Yeah. But wait, there's two crocodiles.
And then they don't show them asking her about it, but apparently she didn't tell them because she didn't want them to blow its head off,
Mm-hmm.
which they do.
Which kind of that's what happened.
Absolutely, yeah.
What kind of gun was that he was using? It looked like a grenade launcher.
I forget what kind of gun they said it was, but he blew that big old crocodile's head right off with it.
Yeah, he shot it and then it literally exploded.
But yeah,
Yeah.
Well,
That's like Tremors.
yeah.
yeah,
That crocodile was a lot smaller than the other one too.
yeah. It wasn't as big as the first one.
So I don't know how alligators reproduce. I don't know if they have to mate to lay eggs.
Crocodiles.
Crocodiles. Sorry. Yeah.
People, you get the snouts different, man.
Yes, they do. They got alligators have thinner snouts, right? And crocodiles have wider ones.
Wider. Yeah.
Yes. I think I don't know how they mate, so I don't know if they need like a partner to lay eggs or not.
I don't think they're asexual.
I don't know anything about crocodiles.
I don't think they're asexual.
Except that they swim in Maine and they eat you.
And Crocodile Dundee. And that's all I know.
Crocodile Dundee.
Yeah.
We're not your residential crocodile experts here, so if you have any crocodile facts, you can leave them in the comments below.
But Michael, what did you think of it?
What I think of it, I mean, it was okay. I mean, it wasn't bad. It's not very long either. It's only like with credits an hour and 22 minutes.
Right.
So even
Which is bonus.
the bonus.
Because the problem with some of the horror movies is they go on a little too long.
They do. They do. This is a pretty brisk, like I'd say 85 minutes. And also if you skip the beginning, because I think like the first 2 minutes are just the camera going through the lake
Right.
with the credits rolling.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean it's pretty brisk. It gets to the meat of things pretty fast. There's some plot holes that don't ever get addressed. I think at one point they asked Brendan Gleeson asked Oliver Platt why the crocodile's here. He's like, I don't know.
Right.
Yeah.
They never figure out why the crocodile ended up in that lake.
No.
Someone said it was flushed on a toilet.
Well, he said that as a joke.
I know that.
That's also the premise of the movie Alligator from 1980.
Okay.
But
I missed that one, Michael. I'm sorry.
it's got a cool poster. That's all I can tell you. I haven't watched it.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I've never watched it. There's a lot of those movies too. For some reason, people can't make one alligator movie or crocodile movie. They got to make 1,000 of them. It's like shark movies. They kind of just come out of the woodworks and then
As we'll see.
never go away. I start with one, and then you have 7 Sharknadoes.
Sharknado, yeah.
Yeah.
I've never seen that.
The last one's got time travel.
I didn't even hear of it till I met you, Michael.
Oh, it's great.
So you say.
With her sister, we watched all 7 of them in one day.
I have not, but him and Trisha definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're great. David Hasselhoff's in one of them.
Really?
Oh, yeah, David Hasselhoff.
David Hasselhoff makes movies.
Yes, indeed.
But anyways, okay, so the movie's okay. I think that to me it's an inferior creature movie to Anaconda. Anaconda, I think, has more action in it. I think they're both kind of wacky movies. But Anaconda's also not afraid to kill off characters. That's we'll see.
And yeah, Anaconda has some depth to it, I feel like.
I'm also more scared of a giant snake, I think, than an alligator. I don't know why. Something about being smothered to death by a snake freaks me
I
out.
don't know, being bitten in half or
Swallowed whole.
neither one of them seemed very pleasant.
No.
I don't think I could pick one over the other.
Yeah, right?
There's definitely better ways to die.
I would say.
Yeah.
I would say that there are definitely lots of better ways to die.
But yeah, I think this movie's all right. I think it's there's a little bit more that I would want added to make it a better creature movie. But I mean, the creature effects are solid, as we've talked about. Yeah, I think it's I like it. I like Lake Placid so much so that we're watching the entire series. So, Rachel, what did you think of Lake Placid?
So, I watched it, like I said, many times as a kid, and
Your mom loves it.
oh yeah, my mom absolutely loves this movie. But I watched it so many times, and I didn't remember a thing about it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't remember a thing about it, except for the alligator and the sheriff, I think. But I feel like the alligator should have been more prevalent, but maybe not. It was such a short movie, maybe not. But I mean, I liked it. I mean, it's like a nostalgia thing for me. Watching it as a kid. It is different watching it as an adult and understanding how insufferable people can be, which the main female character was, understanding character development and stuff like that. She's the main female character is the only one who had any sort of character development, I feel.
Mm-hmm.
Except for the sheriff.
But the sheriff did.
A little bit.
Because I think he actually ends up liking Oliver Platt's character at the end.
Yeah.
Because he goes with him to the hospital.
Yeah.
So there was some definite there, but most of them were pretty much the same. And that Bill Pullman's character was exactly the same. He was straight up. There was no development there.
He's just like the lake. He's stagnant.
I mean, he potentially might get into a relationship with Bridget Fonda at the end there. But
it seems like that's possible. But
yeah.
But yeah, you're right. There's not a whole lot of development. There's no development at all.
He did smile at her twice. Maybe twice.
Yeah. But, I mean, it's a good, creature feature movie. I'd watch it again. I have watched it again.
Mm-hmm.
It's not something I want to watch again. So, yeah, I liked it. It's not something rant and rave about, but I liked it.
What about you, Jimmy?
Well, I remember when it first appeared in theaters, the critics didn't like it, so automatically that makes me like it. And because most of the time, the movies I like, they didn't like. So, but I did. I thought it wasn't the greatest thing I've ever seen by far, but I thought the acting was good, and it wasn't cheesy. I didn't think it got cheesy any, and it was. And I like Bill Pullman, and I like Oliver Platt. I like these guys already, so watching it is easy on the eyes, as they say. But and like I say, the crocodile was realistic, which surprised me. The only part I didn't like was when the crocodile ate the bear, because that looked a little fake.
Yeah, it did.
The bear looked a little fake, and as far as that goes, but it wasn't. I would watch it again. It wasn't horrible, because I know I've watched some pretty horrible movies, and I remember that when I first saw it, I was like, "That's pretty cool." Giant crocodile. You gotta have that.
Yep. Yeah. I mean,
sharks, crocodiles, anything like that.
It did spawn a genre.
It certainly did, and it just goes to show that the sequels are never as good as the original.
Very rare does that ever happen.
In any genre.
Horror is actually one of the genres where that did happen once or twice, actually. I mean, if you can't, some people count the Terminator series as horror. I don't.
I wouldn't either.
The first one is what they say is horror. They say it's like a slasher. But the second one is obviously better than the first, people say. And then Aliens is superior to Alien. So if you want a sequel, if you want a sequel, you just have to make sure that James Cameron directs it.
That would be the thing.
I don't know. I'd say the Conjuring series just kept getting better.
I've never watched it.
My God.
We'll watch them at some point. They're not low budget, but we'll watch them at some point.
The not to say genre, but Denzel Washington, man, in The Equalizer, I thought all those movies were good.
I've only watched the first. I didn't watch.
Dallas really likes them.
Yeah, those are good movies, and those where the sequels weren't horrible at all. They were really good.
Yeah,
and John Wick.
I was just about to say John Wick.
I can't get enough of John Wick. I can tell you that right now.
There's a spinoff coming on.
Ballerina?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I've seen the advertisement for that.
And John Wick is going to make an appearance next. They already spoiled that in the trailer.
Yeah. Well, that's probably because they want people to come see it.
Yeah, right.
And that would do it.
Yeah. So those are kind of our thoughts of Lake Placid and of sequels. And so we'll go into rating the film now. As you know, we do one rating based on movie quality out of 5. That includes casting, acting, directing, setting, the whole technical process of the film. And then we do a rating out of 5 based on how much we liked it. So I'll go first. We'll do the movie rating first. Cast is great. I think the cast did a really good job with what they had. The script's okay, little weak. But this movie wouldn't work script wise. I don't think it wouldn't be as enjoyable or as much of a classic if it didn't have the people that are in it.
Yes, definitely.
Setting's good. I thought the lake was the lake looked cool. I think that it's really really neat to have it be like a dark lake. Kind of reminded me of what's that lake in Scotland? The Loch Ness.
Loch Ness. Yeah.
Loch Ness.
That's where the Loch Ness monster is, Michael. It's in Loch Ness.
Yeah, he's residing there. So it kind of reminded me of that a little bit. I think overall, Steve Miner, the director, he directed some Friday the 13th movies. I don't know what else his filmography was, but I think he did pretty good with this one. So I'm going to give Lake Placid on a movie production rating, a 3 out of 5.
Okay.
What?
So I have to agree, they're really good actors, but, with the budget they had, they could afford them. The acting was good. The animatronics of the alligator was really good. All of this plays into the money.
Mm-hmm.
Setting, production, like you guys said, the only time it really seemed fake was the bear attack, which, of course,
mm-hmm.
So I think I would give this. I would also give this a 3 out of 5.
Okay. Jimmy, as our first guest, what is your opinion?
Well, I the acting was good and solid. The plot was a little weak, but didn't hurt it. It didn't hurt it because they had such good actors. But as far as the filming of it, it was good. The lake was beautiful. I mean, I really liked it, and I'd give it a 3.5.
3.5 out of 5. Okay. I think, and you brought this up earlier. I didn't mention this in my rating, but the crocodile looked great.
Yeah, I love the crocodile.
How much do you think they spent on that crocodile? I'm getting a guess.
If I had to guess,
because I'm not sure. how much it is. But like, say we're going to estimate, they say like it's between 27 and 35 million dollars.
Right.
Do you think
I'd say a good third of it probably went to that.
You think a third of the
it
budget?
was really good.
That's a big crocodile.
Yeah, it was huge.
Especially that shot at the end where they've got it on the flatbed truck driving down the interstate.
Yeah, they're supposedly taking it to Portland, but I mean, in reality, they're probably just taking it back to the studio lot. I wonder if that thing ever got used.
I have no idea.
I imagine you probably can't afford to use it for your movie.
Right.
But yeah, the alligator just looked great. But yeah, so 3, 3.5. And so now we will go into what we thought he had likability. This is just our pure opinion on it. Like I said, it's brisk. I enjoyed it for the most part. Like there's some things I would like to see different, but it's a fine movie. I have no issues with it whatsoever. So I will give it also a 3 out of 5.
Okay. It's a good movie. I'd watch it again. Is it the best alligator movie ever?
What do you say the best is?
I don't know what that one was, but the girl's trapped in her house.
Oh, Crawl?
Yes, Crawl. That's a good one.
That is a good one.
But, I mean, it's not low budget, but it's not super high budget either.
Mm-hmm.
It's only double what a top low budget is. But that's not what we're talking about. Likability. I'd give it a 3.25.
3.25. Rachel sticking with those decimal points.
Yes, I am.
Jimmy?
What do you do?
Well, I tell you what, I liked it, and it's got Betty White in it, which I love that. I love her, and and I like all the actors, but Betty White is actually hilarious to me, and so I would give it also a 3.5.
3.5?
Yes.
Okay, so that leaves me in a 6. That's you at 6.25, and that gives you a 7.
7. Yeah.
7 out of 10. 7 out of 10. So those are our thoughts of Lake Placid from 1999. We really appreciate you guys for listening. Jimmy, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it, and I'd like to say that you guys do an awesome job, and thank you for letting me be a part of it.
Oh, we love having people.
Yeah.
So we really appreciate it.
We were excited to have a guest, finally.
Well, I'm very happy to be here.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's all we got for this episode. Stay tuned for next week. We are going to cover the Lake Placid sequel, aptly named Lake Placid 2. That's all I got. Direct-to-video sci-fi movie. So be looking forward to that. If you thought the acting was good in this one, the acting is not going to be good in that.
Nor the CGI or animatronics.
Yeah, so I hope
back to our usual stuff.
Yeah, I hope you really like the crocodile in this one because it's not coming back for the sequels.
Yeah.
But yeah, we thank you guys for listening. Please like and subscribe. Comment down below. Alligator facts. Not alligator facts. Crocodile facts.
Crocodile, yes.
Whatever. Same thing. But until next time, we are the Undead Celluloid Society, adding Jimmy. My name is Michael.
And I'm Rachel.
And this is Jimmy.
Yes, sir. A new cellulite.
A new cellulite. But we thank you guys for listening.